Oh God, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Oh, hey Morgan. Well, I wanted to open up this Q&A video with a reference, but I can't think of anything. Yeah, it really sucks. Yeah, I know. I know, Morgan, you just said that. Yes, I know. Why do you keep saying that, Morgan? Why are you being a parrot? You're an Enderman. Alright, you can stop now, Morgan. Why are you doing this? What? Why am I crying? People aren't gonna get this reference at all, are they? You've always treated me like crap, but you've always been a good friend, Morgan. What? Yeah, you're right. We should get on with the Q&A. Just give me a second. Roll the intro. Hello everyone, I am the Dragon Skull, and welcome back to another episode of Demon Senpai. Yeah, this one's come out a lot quicker than the last ones. After I made the last Q&A video, you guys have been giving me a lot of questions, and I'm going to be answering them today for you in this episode. Yes, I know that, Morgan. By the way, when did you get back? Oh. Well, are you going to teleport away again? No, I'm not gonna annoy you with our song again. Don't worry about that. I've learnt my lesson. I only did it just to mess with you. What's the harm in messing with friends? Wait, you're saying we're not friends? Well, you may not like me, but that doesn't mean I can't like you. Anyway, if you're going to be sticking around this episode, don't do anything wrong, okay? Whatever. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another Q&A episode. Don't tell me how to do my job, Morgan. As I was playing Kingdom Hearts 3, you guys have been leaving me a lot of questions, and today I'm going to be answering them in this video. So, let's get started. Okay, the first question, and it's the only question in the Discord server, is asked by Mercer81. And, well, actually, technically he has two questions. And his first one is, are you gay? No, I'm not. Straight to the point. And his second question is, what is your favorite meme and most hated meme? I don't know. I'm not really into memes as much as everyone else is, at least not anymore. There was once a time when I enjoyed memes and I thought they were funny, but nowadays memes are just annoying and pointless. Like, people are like, hey, anyone can create a meme. I can just take a funny image, put some words over it, and boom, we get a meme. That's not how memes work. I just hate how people don't understand that. I don't know. There's so many memes out there, it's hard for me to pick which one's my favourite. I guess if I had to pick one, it would have to be the dabbing meme. I mean, that was pretty funny during the time, and I mean, it's not really funny nowadays, but during its time, it was something. Nowadays, I get annoyed when people do it for no reason. Like, for example, my friend, he tried to throw a bottle into the bin from like a long way away, and when he missed, he went like, and I was like, Because, well, that wasn't dubbing, that's just doing this. So I guess dubbing was one of my favorite memes at the time. It's not now anymore though. I don't really have a favorite meme at the time. As for most hated meme, that's another hard question because there's a lot of memes I don't like. Here's one I hate. I hate the Shaggy is a god meme. I really can't stand that meme. Because people are saying Shaggy only used 1% of his power. I just hate that meme. I hate it because I hear it everywhere I go. Literally everywhere. Thank God I don't hear it as often as I do nowadays. But back then, when it came out, it was all I hear about. I just hate it so much. I hate people making videos about it. I hate people talking about it. I hate people saying things like, Shaggy can beat anyone. Shaggy can beat Thanos. Shaggy can beat God. Shaggy can beat Goku. No, he can't! He's freaking Shaggy Rogers! He is a cowardly teenager who loves to eat. He is not a god! Sorry. I almost went into demon mode because of that. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. I used to like the dubbing meme, and I hate the Shaggy memes. And I swear to God, if anyone mentions that meme to me again, they will unleash. I will unleash hell on them. And don't say pray to God. Don't you mean pray to Shaggy? Shut up. Again, I apologize. Next question. Okay, now we're moving on to the YouTube comments of my last Q&A. The first one is by Eleni. She's always there to give me questions. She only has one this time. She says, I've read your comic and I loved it. Thank you, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And my question is, what inspired you to make Chaos Man? Now that's a question I was hoping I'd get. Ooh, it's a pretty long story. Chaos Man, well, the main inspiration for it was Sonic the Hedgehog, which is obvious because of the Chaos Emerald and, well, Chaos in Chaos Man's name. Chaos Man pretty much has the same powers as Shadow, like Chaos Spear, Chaos Control, all of that. But I've added some new Chaos powers to make it sort of unique. The Chaos Emeralds in Chaos Man are completely different to the ones in Sonic as well. Like, for example, they can turn into weapons, which is cool. And Sonic, although it was one of the main inspirations, it wasn't what got me to start Chaos Man. No, what got me to start Chaos Man was a game I used to play called Drawn to Life. And if you haven't heard of it, it's a DS game where, sorry about that. And if you haven't heard of it, it's a DS game where you actually play as a character you've created. Like, you basically draw your main character, and then he comes to life, and you play as him. Then you draw weapons for him. You draw platforms that he can jump on. You draw armor he could wear. All that kind of stuff. And the story of the game is, well, you, the player, are the god to these little human creatures called Raposa, and their village has fallen into darkness, and they are praying to you to help them, and you help them by creating your own hero, and then you play as that hero, and you save the world, pretty much. That's where my inspiration for Chaos Man began, because, the hero I drew in the game was Chaos Man. Back then, though, he was completely different to how he is now in the comics. Like, hang on, let me show you guys. Let me bring up my comic again. Yeah, this is Chaos Man. And for those of you who somehow don't know about it, please go back and watch the video where I've announced this comic. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. But yeah, this is Chaos Man, and this is what he looks like. And for those of you who don't know, this is a comic series that I've been working on for years, and it's been my absolute dream to make it a reality. And well, now it has. So if you guys really want to read this comic, and go to the Crown Root website so you can download the comic for free. I'll leave the link to it in the description below as well. And this is my comic, it's among many others. So please give it a read and let me know what you think of it. But yeah, to answer your question, and Sonic, Drawn to Life, and several other things are what inspired me to make Chaos Man, and I'm so happy with it. Some people may say that I'm just copying Sonic, but I don't see it that way. I'm just someone who's trying to follow a dream of trying to create my own anime. And someday I hope it does become an anime. Maybe a video game if I'm lucky. Alright, next question. The next question is by my good friend and Oliver. And he asks me, what is your favourite Yu-Gi-Oh series and explain why? It's probably because of the Yu-Gi-Oh summoning I did in my last Q&A. That was awesome. It took a long time to edit though, just to let you know. But my favourite Yu-Gi-Oh series, it's kind of hard to say considering I've seen almost all of them. I've only seen Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh GX and 5Ds. I haven't seen the others yet. Mostly because I don't really like the next one, Zexal. Plus, I'm backed up with other anime. Like I'm still in the middle of watching Attack on Titan season 3. But to answer your question, if I had to pick one, I'd say Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds because that was an awesome Yu-Gi-Oh series. When I watched the original Yu-Gi-Oh, I didn't think anything could top it. Then, well, GX came along, and it was a good series, but I still liked the original Yu-Gi-Oh at the time. Then 5Ds came along, and I was blown away by how awesome it was. I really love everything about 5Ds. The story, the characters, the fact that the new dueling methods, like dueling on motorcycles and the synchro summoning mechanic, it is awesome. And one of my favourite monsters from the series, which I've actually summoned in my last video, is Red Dragon Archfiend, who is Jack Atlas's top monster. And Jack Atlas is my favourite character in Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds. And one of my friends who's left a question in the comments is a fan of the series as well. He's the one who got me into it. It's Wolfie Toe. I've done some videos with him in the past, and you should go check them out. I might leave them in the description below as well. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds is my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh series because I really love the story of it, and I love the main characters. Yusei, Jack Atlas, Crow, Akiza, all of them, and I love the villains as well. Like I like what are they called again? There's this cult of Dark Signers, that's what they were called, the Dark Signers. They were pretty amazing villains. And I love the Earthbound Immortals. They were really cool monsters. And I also like the villains that appeared in the second season. And those Mechlord Emperors and their leader as Zone. And yeah. But one thing that annoys me about it is that, well, the English dub version of 5Ds was unfinished, and they left out so much because, well, 5Ds is mostly targeted for adults than kids, and 4Kids censored it because of all the deaths and stuff. I have watched the original Japanese version of it as well, just so I could actually properly finish the series, and it was awesome. And it was like a life or death situation with the duels. It was insane. If you haven't watched Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds, I recommend it to Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there. It is a really good series. And if the English dub ends, you should watch the English sub version afterwards, just so you know. There's also a couple episodes that were cut out as well, so be sure to look out for those. Alright, next question. I've got two questions, well, technically one question, by my friend Wolfie, though, who I've mentioned before. He asks, when can you chat, his spelling is a bit off. When you can, and I challenge you to a duel or in a video. So it's not really a question, but more like a challenge. Well, Wolfito, if you're watching this video right now, I accept your challenge. I will be sure to duel you in a proper video soon. This has been something we've been wanting to do for a while now, but we never really could pull it off because, well, because of the camera angles we need to show both of us dueling. We'll figure that out in the future, though. That's something for future me to worry about. Alright, last 4 questions are by Mason. And first question is, do you like Fortnite? Because I don't. Well, that makes 2 of us. I hate Fortnite. It is one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. I honestly don't see the reason for its existence. It's so bad. The game, the graphics, the overall purpose of it, it's just, ugh. I honestly don't know why people like this game. People have been telling me, oh, you should check it out, it's really fun. Well, I gave it a go, hated it. I could not stand it. This game is a literal cancer. And no offense to you fans out there, I know this game has fans and I respect you for it. This is just my personal opinion. So don't leave any hate comments just because I don't like something you like. I just personally don't like Fortnite. I tried getting into it, didn't like it. There's just certain games I like and certain games I don't like. It's not just Fortnite, I just don't like online games in general. Because, well, I don't like how some people who are like really good at the game just completely annihilate people who are new to the game. I just don't like this. There should be online games where all newbies are in one section while all pros are in another, and then they just go about at each other and get stronger. And once some newbies get really, really good at the game, they move on to the pros. And then they test their luck there. That needs to happen in future online games, and only then will I even consider playing one. But until then, I'm staying well away from online games and sticking to story-based games. That's what I do on this channel. I play story-based games. I don't play online games or first-person shooters. It's just not me. Alright, next question. If you were a superhero for a day, who would it be? I'm guessing that's meant to be who, because you accidentally put would twice. Ooh, that's a tough question. Hard to say, there's a lot of superheroes I like. I guess my obvious choice would be Spider-Man, because I love Spider-Man, and if you haven't watched me play my Spider-Man Let's Play, you'll know how much I love Spider-Man. It's just so fun swinging around the city as him and being a bad guy. But there are also some other superheroes I'd like to be as well, like for example the Green Lantern, or the Hulk, or Doctor Strange because he has magic. There's also and the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, I really like them, and the Superman of course, who wouldn't want to be Superman? It's a tough question. I guess, well, you know, you weren't really specific on what superhero I could be. Like, if I wanted to, I could be my hero, Chaos Man. Because Chaos Man has awesome powers. Chaos Man's pretty much like Superman, but he has like a huge variety of powers. Chaos Man can fly, he has teleportation, he has energy powers, there's super strength, he can stop time, all that stuff. I won't go into too much detail on what Chaos Man can do, because, well, I need to wait for the rest of the comics to be released. The first comic it only just shows him becoming Chaos Man, it doesn't show him using his powers. But if you are a fan of my comic series, you have something to look forward to. Alright, next question by Mason is, what's your favourite film this year so far? Favourite film? Well, I've seen a lot of films this year. I guess if I had to pick one, I'd probably say Avengers Endgame. I've seen it in the cinemas and I was blown away by how awesome it was. A great follow-up to Avengers Infinity War. Well, I won't spoil anything, so don't worry about it, but it is a must-watch, so I really highly recommend you see it. Although, if you haven't seen the other Avengers movies, especially Infinity War, then, well, the movie won't make much sense. That's the problem with the MCU movies. on their own they don't make sense unless you've watched the other movies before it. Then it all makes sense. I have watched every single film in the MCU so far, except for the ones that haven't been released yet. I've also seen Spider-Man Far From Home not long ago, and that was an awesome movie. I really love the twists and turns they take with it. Again, I won't spoil anything. And the way the movie ended was just mind-blowing. And it makes me wonder what's going to happen next. Though, considering Spider-Man is leaving the MCU now, damn you, Sony! We might not get that conclusion. I really hope that Marvel convinces Sony to let them hold on to Spider-Man a while longer so that they can continue having Spider-Man appear in the MCU. Because there's so many things that haven't happened yet, like the planning for the Sinister Six, because that was what the end credit scene for Spider-Man Homecoming showed. And I really want to see that. So many Spider-Man films tried to do the Sinister Six, but they always fail because of the movie's not doing so well. Like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, for example. The ending to that film was going to set up the Sinister Six, with Rhino appearing at the end. But because that movie didn't do so well, it got cancelled. Which really pissed me off at the time, because I was really looking forward to it. And I was also really looking forward to Spider-Man 4 in the Sam Raimi trilogy. But because Spider-Man 3 didn't do so well, it got cancelled. And I swear to God, if there's going to be another Spider-Man remake, I'm just going to give up. Because I don't want another Spider-Man remake. I just want to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man continue in the MCU. And even if Sony does get Spider-Man again, I'd rather see a continuation of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man rather than get a whole new Spider-Man together. Some people say that some good might come out of this though. Like if Sony owns Spider-Man again, there's a possibility he might appear in the Venom sequel, which isn't all that bad, I guess. I'm worried about the direction they'll take with it. But yeah, my favourite movie this year is Avengers Endgame. I don't remember any other movies I've seen this year. There were definitely a lot, but I don't remember them all. Alright, last question. What's the best cartoon film you've watched? My favourite is the first Toy Story. Oh, good for you. Even though technically it's not a cartoon, it's a 3D animated movie. The first one made by Pixar as well. Well, if I had to pick best cartoon film, I have to say Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That was an awesome movie. One of the best Spider-Man films I've ever seen. Now I think about it, that film was made by Sony as well, so maybe if Sony has Spider-Man back, maybe they might make more animated Spider-Man films. Then again, Spider-Man was with in the MCU at the time when that movie came out. We'll just see what the future has to bring. But yeah, the favourite animated film I've seen would have to be Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. There's so many animated films I've seen that I really like. But the most recent one I've seen, which is Into the Spider-Verse, was a good film. And for those of you who wonder what my favourite 3D movie is, like Toy Story, I don't know. It's hard to choose considering there are so many good ones. I guess for now, I'd say one of the most newest ones I've seen is Coco. That's one of Pixar's best movies, in my opinion. It's a really heartfelt, warming story, and I really recommend watching it if you haven't. It's a good story about Mexican culture and their holiday, the Day of the Dead. I don't know what the Mexican term for it is, but it's really good, and the music in that movie was really good. I remember there was this one song in the movie that actually made me cry because of how sad it was. It's so heartwarming. I really recommend you watch it if you haven't already. But yeah, that's the end for today's Q&A. thank you guys so much for your questions, and if you want to ask me more questions for the next Q&A, please leave them in the comments section down below in this video, or go to my Discord server and ask me there, at AskTDS. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, and subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I will see you all next time. Peace.